Paranoid Schizophrenia Workbook. A step-by-step guide to understanding, coping, surviving, and thriving with paranoid schizophrenia. By Tom Ian Craig and narrated by Mike. Introduction. Personal connection. A glimpse behind the paranoid schizophrenia blueprint. When I first encountered the term paranoid schizophrenia, it wasn't in a psychology textbook or a medical journal. It was whispered in hushed tones at family gatherings, a shadow that seemed to lurk in the background. My cousin David was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia in his early 20s. I watched, often feeling helpless, as my family grappled with the initial shock, the stigma, and the myriad challenges that the diagnosis brought into our lives. David was always the life of the party, the one with an infectious laugh and an unparalleled zest for life. Post-diagnosis, it was heart-wrenching to witness the turbulent shift in his behavior, the uninvited bouts of paranoia, and the struggle to distinguish between reality and delusion. However, it wasn't just the difficult moments that shaped my perspective. It was the periods of resilience, the small victories, and the immense strength that David exhibited daily. The concerted efforts of his support system, the breakthroughs with tailored therapeutic tools, and the constant strive towards a semblance of normalcy painted a story of hope, determination, and the indomitable human spirit. This book isn't just an academic endeavor for me, it's deeply personal. It's inspired by David's journey, the insights from countless other brave souls battling paranoid schizophrenia, and the caregivers, therapists, and families who walk this challenging path alongside them. My motivation is simple: to create a guide that I wish existed when David was first diagnosed. A beacon of hope and a practical toolkit for everyone affected by paranoid schizophrenia, directly or indirectly. While David's story is uniquely his own, the challenges, learnings, and triumphs echo in countless other narratives across the world. Through the Paranoid Schizophrenia Blueprint, I aim to amalgamate these shared experiences, offering a roadmap from diagnosis to thriving, underpinned by both professional expertise and personal experience. To every reader picking up this book, whether you're newly diagnosed, a longtime warrior, a concerned family member, or a professional, know that this book is a testament to resilience, a tribute to those who fight, and a pledge of unwavering support on your journey ahead. Overview of paranoid schizophrenia and its implications. What is paranoid schizophrenia? Paranoid schizophrenia, often simply referred to as schizophrenia, is a subtype of schizophrenia, a chronic mental disorder that affects how a person thinks, feels, and behaves. It's characterized primarily by positive symptoms, which means the presence of unusual thoughts or perceptions. Core features. Delusions. These are false beliefs that the person holds, even in the face of contradictory evidence. The most common are persecutory delusions, where the individual believes they are being targeted, plotted against, or harmed. Hallucinations. Mostly auditory, individuals may hear voices that others don't. These voices can comment on the individual's behavior, instruct them to act in specific ways, or converse with one another. Disorganized thinking. Their speech might be disorganized, making it difficult for others to understand them. Negative symptoms. These can include apathy, lack of emotion, and difficulties in carrying out daily activities. While these symptoms are most pronounced in paranoid schizophrenia, it's essential to note that individuals may not exhibit all these features, and the intensity can vary. Implications of paranoid schizophrenia. Personal impact. The persistent nature of delusions and hallucinations can make daily life challenging. Tasks that seem routine to others might become insurmountable hurdles, from maintaining personal hygiene to holding down a job. Social implications. Due to misconceptions and stigma around the disorder, individuals might face discrimination, isolation, or alienation from friends and family. They might also find it difficult to form or maintain relationships due to their symptoms or societal prejudices. Occupational challenges. The cognitive symptoms associated with schizophrenia, like trouble focusing or remembering things, can affect an individual's ability to study or work. Medical implications. There's an increased risk of various health issues among people with schizophrenia, including heart disease, diabetes, and other conditions. Factors contributing to this include medication side effects, lifestyle choices, and challenges in accessing healthcare. Economic implications: direct medical expenses, loss of productivity, unemployment, or underemployment can lead to economic strain both for the individual and their family. Safety concerns: there might be an elevated risk of self-harm or suicidal tendencies, especially during acute episodes. It's vital for caregivers and medical professionals to be aware of and address these concerns promptly. While paranoid schizophrenia poses numerous challenges, it's crucial to understand that it is manageable with the right treatment, support, and resources. Thousands of people diagnosed with this condition lead fulfilling, productive lives, proving that with understanding, care, and persistence, the journey from diagnosis to thriving is attainable. Chapter 1: What is paranoid schizophrenia? Paranoid schizophrenia, an in-depth look. Definition: paranoid schizophrenia is a subtype of schizophrenia, a severe mental disorder that distorts the way a person thinks, feels, acts, perceives reality, or relates to others. The primary distinguishing feature of paranoid schizophrenia is the presence of paranoia, which leads to intense and pervasive feelings of mistrust or suspicion. Core symptoms: while schizophrenia has various symptoms ranging from cognitive to emotional disruptions, the most pronounced in paranoid schizophrenia are delusions, unshakable beliefs in something untrue. These delusions are typically persecutory or grandiose in nature. Persecutory delusions: the belief that one is going to be harmed by an individual, organization, or other group. These delusions are based on suspicion and fear. Grandiose delusions: beliefs that one has exceptional abilities, wealth, or fame. Hallucinations: these are perceptions that occur without an external stimulus. They can be auditory, visual, olfactory, tactile, or gustatory. However, in paranoid schizophrenia, auditory hallucinations are most common. Disorganized thinking, speech: a manifestation of disorganized thinking, where the person might hop from one topic to another seemingly unrelated one. While these symptoms are the most pronounced, individuals with paranoid schizophrenia might not exhibit all these features, and their intensity and frequency can differ significantly among individuals. Examples: delusions. Persecutory: Jane believes that her neighbors are spies sent by a government agency to monitor her every move. Despite reassurances and no evidence to support this, she's convinced they're plotting to harm her. Grandiose: Michael, a college student, is convinced he's secretly a famous film director with significant influence in Hollywood. He believes celebrities communicate with him through secret messages on TV, asking for his direction. Hallucinations. Auditory: Sarah often hears two voices conversing about her actions, criticizing her choices, and telling her she's worthless. These voices seem very real to her, even though others can't hear them. Visual: Rahul occasionally sees shadowy figures lurking in his peripheral vision. They disappear when he tries to focus on them, but he believes they're watching him. Disorganized thinking. During a conversation about his favorite movie, Alex suddenly starts discussing how fish communicate underwater, then jumps to the topic of space exploration, making it challenging to follow his train of thought. Understanding paranoid schizophrenia and its manifestations is crucial for diagnosis, treatment, and the individual's overall well-being. These examples aim to provide a glimpse into the lives of those with the disorder, highlighting the need for empathy, understanding, and appropriate care. Common myths and misconceptions about paranoid schizophrenia. When discussing a complex topic such as paranoid schizophrenia, it's vital to address and correct the various myths and misconceptions that persist in public perception. Here's an overview of some of the common myths surrounding this condition, along with clarifications to debunk them. Myth: individuals with paranoid schizophrenia have split personalities. Clarification: this is a widespread misconception. Paranoid schizophrenia does not involve multiple or split personalities. Dissociative identity disorder, DID, is the condition that involves the presence of two or more distinct identity states. It is different from schizophrenia. Myth: People with paranoid schizophrenia are inherently violent or dangerous. Clarification. While some individuals might experience aggressive episodes, it's more common for them to be withdrawn or prefer solitude. In fact, individuals with schizophrenia are more likely to be victims of violence rather than perpetrators. Myth: paranoid schizophrenia is the result of poor upbringing or personal weaknesses. Clarification. Schizophrenia is a complex mental disorder influenced by genetic, biological, environmental, and psychological factors. Blaming it on personal weakness or parenting is not only incorrect but also adds to the stigma. Myth: people with paranoid schizophrenia can't lead normal lives. Clarification. With the right treatment, many individuals with this disorder can lead fulfilling, productive lives. Treatment can include medication, therapy, and community support. Myth: you can't reason with someone who has paranoid schizophrenia. Clarification. While delusions or hallucinations may be resistant to reason, many individuals with this condition can engage in rational conversations outside of their delusional beliefs. Myth: schizophrenia is just about hearing voices. Clarification. While auditory hallucinations are a common symptom of paranoid schizophrenia, the condition encompasses a broad range of symptoms, including delusions, disorganized thinking, and negative symptoms like apathy. Myth: medication is the only treatment for paranoid schizophrenia. Clarification. While antipsychotic medication plays a vital role in managing the symptoms, comprehensive treatment often includes psychotherapy, life skills training, and supportive housing or group homes. Myth: people with paranoid schizophrenia can't hold jobs or be in relationships. Clarification. Many people with schizophrenia hold jobs, have relationships, and live independently. The severity of symptoms varies, and with appropriate treatment, many can manage their conditions successfully in daily life. By debunking these myths and misconceptions, we can foster greater understanding and empathy for those living with paranoid schizophrenia. Educating the public can help reduce stigma and ensure that individuals get the support and treatment they need. Causes, symptoms, and diagnosis. Paranoid schizophrenia, as with other subtypes of schizophrenia, is a complex mental health disorder. Here's a comprehensive breakdown of its causes, symptoms, and the diagnostic process. Causes of paranoid schizophrenia. The exact causes are not fully understood, but research indicates a combination of several factors. Genetics. A history of schizophrenia in the family might increase the risk. However, many people with the condition have no family history of it. Brain chemistry and structure. An imbalance in neurotransmitters like dopamine and glutamate might contribute. Some studies also suggest that abnormalities in brain structure might be factors. Environmental factors. Prenatal exposure. Exposure to viruses, malnutrition before birth, or stressful situations can make the brain more susceptible. Drug use. Psychoactive drugs during teen years and young adulthood can increase the risk. High-stress situations. This might trigger paranoid schizophrenia in people who are genetically predisposed. Symptoms of paranoid schizophrenia. Positive symptoms, additions to regular behavior. Delusions, strongly held false beliefs. Examples include believing that one has superhuman abilities or is being persecuted. Hallucinations, sensing things that aren't really there. Most common are auditory hallucinations, hearing voices. Negative symptoms, subtraction from regular behavior. Emotional flatness, reduced expression of emotions. Reduced feelings of pleasure, inability to feel joy or happiness. Difficulty in beginning and sustaining activities. Cognitive symptoms. Poor executive functioning, trouble with understanding information and decision-making. Trouble focusing, easily distracted. Poor working memory, difficulty with using information immediately after learning it. Disorganized symptoms. Disorganized thinking, rapid and frenzied speaking or moving from one topic to another. Abnormal motor behavior. This ranges from agitation to catatonia. Diagnosis of paranoid schizophrenia. Physical examination. to rule out other factors that might be causing the symptoms, such as substance use or another medical condition. Tests and screening. These might include blood tests, imaging studies like an MRI or CT scan to look at brain structure, psychiatric evaluation. A psychiatrist will observe the person's appearance and demeanor, ask about thoughts, moods, delusions, hallucinations, substance use, and potential for violence or suicide. Discuss family and personal history. Diagnostic criteria for schizophrenia, DSM-5, the American Psychiatric Association's Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, DSM-5, sets criteria to diagnose schizophrenia. A diagnosis often requires at least 2 of the following symptoms for a duration of 6 months: delusions, hallucinations, disorganized speech, disorganized or catatonic behavior, and negative symptoms. At least one of the symptoms must be one of the first 3 listed above. Significant impairment in work, relationships, or self-care. Differential diagnosis. It's crucial to distinguish schizophrenia from other mental health disorders and to rule out other potential causes like drug use, other medical conditions, or mood disorders. Understanding the causes, symptoms, and diagnostic criteria of paranoid schizophrenia is crucial for effective treatment and support. The earlier it's diagnosed and managed, the better the potential outcomes for the individual. Chapter 2: Accepting the Diagnosis. Personal stories of diagnosis acceptance. Accepting a diagnosis of paranoid schizophrenia is a deeply personal and often complex journey. Here are a few anonymized personal stories that encapsulate different paths to acceptance. Liam's story: Denial to Understanding. When Liam first heard the diagnosis, he was in complete denial. He couldn't believe he had a mental disorder. He was certain his experiences were unique and could not be categorized. The voices he heard, he believed, were spiritual guides, not hallucinations. However, when his therapist patiently compared his experiences with documented symptoms and showed him testimonies from others who felt the same way, he started to see the similarities. Liam's turning point was joining a support group. Meeting others going through the same challenges helped him accept and understand his diagnosis. Over time, with consistent therapy and peer support, he realized that accepting his diagnosis was the first step to managing it. Aisha's story: Relief in a Name. For Aisha, the diagnosis was almost a relief. She had been struggling for years, knowing something was not right. Friends and family dismissed her fears as just phases or overthinking. When she was finally diagnosed, it gave her experiences a name, an identity. She felt validated. The knowledge that there were treatments and supportive communities available gave her hope. Accepting her diagnosis became a source of strength and determination for Aisha. Ricardo's story: The Fear of Stigma. Ricardo felt a mix of relief and fear when he was diagnosed. Relief, because he finally had answers to the voices and delusions he experienced. Fear, because of the societal stigma associated with schizophrenia. He was afraid of being seen as crazy or unstable. His acceptance journey was tied to battling this external and internalized stigma. Education played a big role. As he learned more about his condition, he began to view it as just another health challenge. Participative workshops and therapy sessions aided him in reframing his perspective and gradually accepting his diagnosis. Jenna's story: Family as a Pillar. Jenna was in her early 20s when diagnosed. Her family struggled with the news initially, oscillating between disbelief and guilt. But as they came to terms with it and decided to educate themselves, they became Jenna's pillar of support. Watching her family's acceptance helped Jenna in her own journey. Together, they sought out resources, therapies, and support groups. Her family's unconditional support played a vital role in Jenna accepting her diagnosis and seeking the help she needed. Each of these stories underscores the varying emotional landscapes that people navigate after being diagnosed. Acceptance often leads to a proactive approach in managing the condition, seeking support and striving for a fulfilling life. The importance of self-compassion and understanding in paranoid schizophrenia. For anyone dealing with a chronic illness, especially a mental health disorder like paranoid schizophrenia, the journey can be fraught with challenges, setbacks, and self-doubt. This makes the roles of self-compassion and understanding paramount. Here's a breakdown of why these two traits are so essential. Understanding self and the condition. Knowledge empowers. Gaining an understanding of paranoid schizophrenia, its symptoms, triggers, and coping strategies, empowers individuals to be proactive in their management of the disorder. It helps in distinguishing between the self and the illness. Redefining normal. By understanding the nature of their experiences, individuals can begin to redefine their sense of normal. This leads to adjusted expectations, which can ease feelings of disappointment or failure. Dealing with relapses. Understanding that paranoid schizophrenia can have cycles and that relapses can occur prepares individuals mentally. This knowledge can prevent feelings of hopelessness during challenging times. Cultivating self-compassion. Combating self-judgment. Individuals with paranoid schizophrenia often grapple with intense self-judgment, especially during episodes. Self-compassion encourages a kinder internal dialogue, emphasizing that everyone has challenges and that they're not defined solely by their disorder. Reduction in stress and anxiety. Research has shown that self-compassion can lead to reductions in symptoms of anxiety and depression. For someone with paranoid schizophrenia, this is incredibly valuable, as these symptoms can exacerbate their condition. Promoting resilience. Self-compassion fosters resilience. When setbacks occur, a compassionate mindset can help one rebound more effectively, viewing setbacks as part of the journey rather than as insurmountable failures. Enhancing treatment adherence. Individuals who practice self-compassion are more likely to adhere to treatment plans. They recognize the importance of self-care and are less likely to neglect their well-being. The synergy of both. Understanding and self-compassion together form a symbiotic relationship. By understanding one's condition, one can better practice self-compassion, recognizing when to be gentle with oneself. Conversely, a compassionate mindset promotes the quest for knowledge and understanding. For those living with paranoid schizophrenia, cultivating both traits can transform their journey from one of mere survival to one of thriving, empowering them to lead fulfilling lives despite the challenges of the condition. The embrace of self-compassion and understanding becomes a beacon, guiding them through the fog of societal stigmas and internal struggles toward a path of acceptance, healing, and empowerment. Tips for navigating initial feelings and emotions after a paranoid schizophrenia diagnosis. Receiving a diagnosis of paranoid schizophrenia can trigger a whirlwind of emotions. The early phase post-diagnosis is especially crucial, as the individual is coming to terms with a new reality. Here's a guide to navigating these initial feelings and emotions. 1. Give yourself time to process. Understand that it's natural to feel a mixture of emotions, from relief at finally having an explanation to fear about the future. Don't rush yourself. Take the time you need to absorb the information. 2. Journaling. Documenting your feelings can help process them. Write down what you feel, your fears, hopes, and questions. This act can provide clarity and serve as a therapeutic outlet. 3. Seek professional support. Engaging with a therapist or counselor can help you navigate and understand your feelings better. They can provide coping strategies and insights into your emotions. 4. Connect with support groups. Meeting others who've been through a similar journey can provide comfort. They can share their experiences, providing both practical advice and emotional support. 5. Avoid isolation. While it might be tempting to withdraw, staying connected with loved ones can be healing. Share your feelings with a trusted friend or family member. Sometimes just talking it out can make a huge difference. 6. Limit exposure to negative influences. Stay away from negative or misleading information about schizophrenia, especially those that stigmatize or sensationalize the condition. Focus on reliable and medical sources for information. 7. Educate yourself. Knowledge is power. The more you learn about paranoid schizophrenia, the more equipped you'll feel. Understand that it's a medical condition, and like any other, it can be managed with the right care and support. 8. Practice mindfulness and meditation. Techniques like mindfulness meditation can help anchor you in the present moment, reducing feelings of anxiety and overwhelm. They teach acceptance and non-judgmental awareness of one's feelings. 9. Set small, achievable goals. Setting and achieving small goals can boost confidence and give a sense of control. It might be as simple as reading a chapter of a book or taking a short walk. 10. Focus on self-compassion. Remind yourself that it's okay to feel vulnerable. Speak to yourself with kindness and understanding, as you would to a dear friend. In essence, the initial phase after diagnosis is a time of adjustment and introspection. While the journey can be challenging, with the right tools and support, one can navigate through these initial emotions and emerge with a deeper understanding and acceptance of oneself. It's a beginning, not an end, and the road ahead holds possibilities of growth, healing, and hope.
Thank you for tuning into our audiobook. If you're enjoying the story and would like to experience the full narration, we invite you to read the video description below. There you'll find all the details necessary to immerse yourself fully in this audio journey. And if you appreciate our content, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more amazing audiobooks. Happy listening!